got everything. It is Saturday. It's about 12 noon. I got that up front here because I'm going to get it cut up. I got my compost out. Finally, I'm working on getting that together. So we're looking at the garden. Acorn squash has decided to start running out and overspilling this bed, which is fine by me. We were expecting rain again this evening, so I didn't have much watering to do, but I did manage to get some mowing done. The sweet potato also starting to come out over the bed, and I did put about 3 or 4 tomatoes from this pile right here. Try to thin them out. So I only got 2 right now there. So I pulled some and I spread them all over the beds, or I should say the garden area. A little bit of worm damage. Cucumbers are doing their thing. I'm seeing blossoms but no fruit yet. And I've looked at my sorrel, and I think that's what you mean, Diva. See, looking at the crotch. So maybe I'm gonna get some sorrel soon. Anyway, and that's what the compost area looks like. Now, something's been digging in my potato bags, and I think it's a raccoon. I came out here and I had some red potatoes and a good sized potato on the ground here. I saw some ish over there, so I'm thinking that's raccoon. But what I think I'm going to do is soak some of those laundry tennis ball kind things in vinegar and put them inside these bags as a deterrent, so the raccoon will leave my stuff alone. As to the Japanese beetle problem, it has died down some, as you can see. Still got a few hanging on, but I did soapy water, Dawn dish soap, water, and some peppermint oil, and that seemed to have curtailed the problem some. This is the cherry. See, nothing on the leaves here. So that's what we're working with. Asian pear. So I think I got that under control. Have some damage, of course, but no activity. No, I picked about 4 raspberries a few mornings ago for my breakfast, and I have to admit those raspberries are sweet and delicious. So this was another area that had a big infestation. See a lot of them turning. But get off of there. Get off of there. Get off of there. Y'all think I'm playing with you. So let's talk corn here. I got 2 different varieties. I have some of them looking like they want to put on ears. However, they're tasseling early. So I'm unsure of the varieties, but I know I did 2 different types. And it could be because several reasons, obviously. They're stressed, nutrient deficient, and we know that maybe they prefer to be planted in ground and not in grow bags. Could be another reason. They are definitely heavy feeders, so I've tried to put more organic matter, nitrogen in the soil. When I originally planted it, I planted it with mushroom compost. I did some peat moss, earthworm castings, and blood meal, bone meal, all that good stuff. However, I have 3 of one type in this grow bag and 3 in the other, and these seem to be doing okay. The leaves are curling. However, these have already tasseled out. So the bees are feeding off of them, so I'm not gonna pull them. We'll just see what they do this year, and perhaps I'll need to rethink my plan of action for next year. This one has already started to tassel as well. I don't know if I'll even get an ear of corn from these grow bags. So my 50-plus-year-old self told my husband I wanted a bike for my birthday. I didn't grow up learning to ride a bike, but I'm like, you know what? It's never too old to learn. So he got me a bike for my anniversary. Did I say birthday? I meant anniversary. So let me give you a peek of that. And knowing him, he's gonna catch me riding this and take a video of it to embarrass me, but I'm gonna learn how to ride this bike. That's on my bucket list for this year. So I'm pretty much waiting on the rain to come. My apple tree is loaded, and I think I'm gonna harvest next week. I want to do some applesauce, and I want to do some apple chips. So I'll show you that process. Good everything. It is July the 8th, 2025. It's about 8 a.m. Low 70 degrees, going up to about 85. And I'm out here today because we're going to pick some apples. So the intent is to pick the stuff up off the ground that I can and put it in my compost bin, harvest what I can from the tree, and I'm thinking applesauce, apple cider, and possibly apple chips. As you can tell, some of these are not ready to be harvested, but I should have enough to do what I'm intending to do. I got gloves to pick the stuff up off the ground with, the wheelbarrow for the old stuff, the basket for the new stuff. So let me get started. All right, I'm gonna take a break. I still got a few over here that I need to pick up, but I went through them and figured out that ain't nothing salvageable in this pile. So that's what I got in the wheelbarrow. I haven't yet used my picker, and I managed to get these salvageable from off the ground. So I'm gonna take a break and come back and finish up this project. All right, so I got some apples going here for my apple chips. It's been going for about an hour. We're at what, 59 degrees Celsius, so that's about 130, 31-ish Fahrenheit. So that's what we got going on there. Prepping some more apples. I'm working on my apple cider here, and I already got my applesauce done. So just waiting for that to cool so I could put it in some jars. If only I had this rolling about 5 seconds previous, you would see an apple fall from the tree and went smack dab into this bucket. Anyway, good everything. It is July the 8th, 2025. It's about 9 a.m., about 74 degrees. And I am out here, again, picking up apples from what fell yesterday, i.e. overnight, and this morning. So, don't have too much to pick up. Take you inside in a few to see what became of yesterday's haul. So not too much. So what you saw me previously doing was attempting to get my bike ride situation in. You know, practice makes perfect, and I'm determined. So let me get this picked up and I'll bring you back. Alright, so today's haul, that's the good bucket that I'm going to use. That's the bad bucket that's going in the compost. So let me take you inside and show you what we did yesterday. Alright, so I ended up with this for my applesauce, which is about 6 jars. That's the consistency. Apple cider, I got 4 jars. And apple chips, I have these 2 jars, but I also have this, which I've started to snack on. Now, it was originally set at 8 hours, but after 8 hours, I gave it an additional 2 hours because some of the trays wasn't as crispy as I would have liked them to be. And I believe because I cut them by hand and not using a mandolin, the thickness is off. So for the second batch, I'm gonna definitely use a mandolin and see if that 8-hour window actually holds. So another option would be apple butter, which I have 3 of these left. I made them about 2 years ago, water bath them. They've been in my fridge ever since. And I use apples, obviously, and made apple butter. So I'm going to spread some here on my Ezekiel muffin and commence to having breakfast. Alright, so I'm back at it again out here, and I've decided I'm going to do some fertilizing today. So I got some plantain here for the orchard, tomato tone for a few of my tomatoes. I got some garden tone that I'm going to use for all my fruits, vegetables, and I got some more Scots flowers. So I'm going to fertilize that. But I also want to I got the runners in my sweet potato bed, so I'm gonna come out here and try to bury some of those and get them hopefully in this bed and get some good sweet potatoes. Everything else is seem to be going to seed with my collards and turnip greens. However, this lettuce is still looking good. So let me get that started. Bring you back when I get to the sweet potato bed. All right, so I gotta work in this bed today. As you can tell, my sweet potatoes are vining. So what I want to do is pretty much just dig a trench and bury these in. I'm trying not to have them running outside. I know it's virtually impossible. However, I'm going to try because I need my sweet potatoes in this bed here. Please don't think that I'm not gonna come out here one day and decide that I want to harvest some of these leaves and cook it up, because these leaves are beautiful. So why not try that? And I will. I think this year I'm gonna try to wait till they die back method before I harvest them. So I used my Google app to tell me what this plant is, and it came up with amaranth. So I know this is my Jamaican callaloo, because that's what I have planted in this bed. So I have a few of them working their way up. And what I might have thought was sorrel might be leaf. So we'll keep an eye on the sorrel as well. I like to have my red drink for Christmas. I noticed today that I have a baby cucumber. So that's doing its thing. And I need to come out and harvest some of my peas. We're expecting rain. So I got everything fertilized. I didn't water everything. I did mostly the buckets because they were looking like they were wilting. So we'll see if we get rain later. If we don't get rain, I'll come out tomorrow and finish watering. Everything. It is July the 12th, 2025. It's about 7:15 in the morning, going for my morning walk. We have gotten a bunch of rain, and more rain for the last 2 days. I haven't been out in the garden. As you can see, the ditches have overflown. And yeah, I haven't harvested anything, haven't did anything in the garden. Apple tree still loaded. Gotta pick some more apples. And my neighbor's tree came down again. It keeps coming down bit by bit. So typically my step count is definitely 10K a day, right? So I know it's off, and it's for the last 2 days due to the weather, because I could go on my morning walk, come back and be around 6K, and I could pick up the remainder during the day when I'm out in the garden doing stuff in the yard, that kind of thing. But I haven't been able to do so in the last 2 days. So on my way back, or when I get back, we'll do a once over of the garden. I've been unable to harvest anything, my peas or anything, so hopefully we get some sun today, but forecast is saying more rain is heading this way. So you see how the corn is growing in the field? The ears are coming at the bottom. Now on the top, it's already tasseled out. I'm hoping that my corn does the same thing. That's just infested with June beetles. Got an infestation going there. The soybean, just left the corn, transitioning to soybean. No, I'm not foraging, but I have learned that these here, what may look like weeds, is actually amaranth just growing wild at the edge of this field. All right, going past the pig pen. I don't know if you could hear them, but windows are down, air circulation going on. All right, made it back home. Gonna do a once around in the garden, make sure everything is still doing okay. All my waterers are filled, but I gotta get better drainage hole in this and this hyssop bucket. Yeah, so yep. Ooh, straighten you out. And these pea pods. I bought a vacuum sealer, so I can't wait to harvest and vacuum seal my produce. I don't know what the goji is doing this year, but a lot of premature berries that didn't survive, and it's just not as fruitful as it was last year. I don't know if it's one of those every other year kind of thing. I got my squash and zucchini in bags, and these flowers are not gonna survive, so I might not even get any squash or zucchini this year. But next week I gotta come and work on my onions and my garlic bags. I need to thin some stuff out. I got some grass growing in some of these bags, and my ginger finally poked her head out. So yeah, got some work to do next week. Hopefully it's not as rainy. Anyway, that being said, trust everyone had a blessed week, an awesome weekend, and sisters willing, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.